Well, I have this old house, and something that's pretty common in an old house is doors like this. When the place was originally built, the door worked just perfectly, I'm sure. But now when I go to close it, well, geez, it don't close because, let's try to show this. It's just too tight here on the jamb. The house has settled. You can see here is where the jamb is, and here's the top of the door. And typically in old houses, a fix that I've seen for this is people will just take the door off and they'll get a saw and saw the door down to fit to where the opening has sagged to. Well, I'm just not having that. I have here an unadulterated 100-plus-year-old door, and I'm sure not going to go hacking into it. So I'm thinking I need another way to do this. Well, here's how I'm going to go about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start up here on this trim at the head. I'm going to just try to loosen it up a bit. Yeah, this chrome is too big. Let's go with the hammer. And yes, I'm damaging the plaster a little bit, and I don't care because eventually the plaster is going to go. All right. Well, I can just pull this head right off. That's gone. And as you can see, there is a big gap between the, wow. Here's some kind of shim. That's got to go. Someone put a shim in here between. Let's bring in close. Here's the top of the door jamb, and then between the jamb and the framing, someone threw a shim in here. And that shim, if I can get that out of there, well, I might be able to raise the jamb up. So that's where I'm going to start with this process, is knocking that thing out. Boy, I'm glad I knocked this trim off. Originally, my plan was to just loosen it up, but, well, okay, so taking my chisel and getting this thing out of here. Because as I said, I don't want to alter this door. At some point in time, I might want to strip the paint off it. But as far as cutting it, no, don't want to do that. All right, that shim's gone. Now, having removed that shim, let's go down to the bottom of the door. Where are we? And I had this all figured out. There we are. There's the bottom of the door. Opening it up. And here's the attack plan. Since I knocked that shim out of the top, now what I want to do, this door jamb is held in with, God darn it, I dropped it. Where'd it go? Well, anyway, the door is held in with finish nails. And finish nails are a relatively soft metal. They are pliable, they can bend. And so my thinking is I'm just going to raise this jamb up, because the nails that are holding it in will bend. So, trying to drive a chisel in here underneath the jamb. And can I get under? And the plan is to put there's that finish nail. Here's my finish nail. There you go. That's what's holding these things in. So the object is to raise this up, and it's really fighting me. Boy, this thing's tough. Because although those things will bend, well, they don't bend easily. I'm gonna need something else. So I'm putting a fulcrum in so that now I have a lever here. My body weight on it. And see if this thing will raise up just a little. And I suppose this is chisel abuse. If you're into that kind of thing. Okay. Now that I've raised it up a little, I guess I got to get back here where I have no room to move. Jeez. Here we go. All right. And having moved it up just a tiny bit, I'm going to try to move it up some more. Because right now, I sure don't have enough room to put any kind of shim underneath that. But we're making a little progress. Yeah, it's moved. Here we are. Pull this out, and it's up tiny bit, but not enough, not yet. We're going to keep going. Shove this under again. And I'm going to try this fulcrum thing again. I hope it helps. And once I get it up enough, the idea is to get a crowbar under here. Yeah. Ooh, almost, not yet. Oh, I am abusing this chisel. Poor thing. All right, crowbar is trying to get in. You know, if I don't get it under enough, when I try to lift, it's just going to splinter the edge of the wood, and I sure don't want to mess up the wood. Let's see what a hammer does. All right, I think I've got it up enough. At this point, I can start trying to shove a shim underneath this thing. So let's do that. Gently tapping it in. And if I pull out the, all right. Have I got anywhere with this thing? Let's see. I showed you at the start, this thing did not fit. Now, with stuff out of the way. Looky there, it actually closes. It's not quite enough gap yet. I'm going to have to do some more with this. But this plan seems to be working. So, let's just do a little more before I call it done. Back with the crowbar. Yeah. Lifting. And just shoving that shim under there. Can I raise it just putting it under the trim? Ah, that's questionable. We're going to try it. Plaster falling. Oh, that's always fun. All right. Let's check it again. All right. Let's see. Now can I just, well, look at that. The door shuts. It's still mighty tight. But, well, that's the first time in probably 40 years that door's actually worked. So I'm going to fidget around a little bit more with shims underneath here to get this thing raised up. And I did not have to cut into the door. Just a few minutes of screwing around, and I fixed the jamb instead of altering the door.